Hey guys, this video is going to be about fictional books from the Harry Potter universe that I wish I could read. It's going to be a mixture of books that we got the titles to in Harry Potter, but we don't have the actual book, and just kind of idea, a vague idea of a sort of book from the Harry Potter universe that I want to see. Obviously, Fantastic Beasts, Quidditch Through the Ages, and Tales of Beedle the Bard won't be in this video because we do already have those and I've read all three of them. To be completely honest, even if I was making this video and those three books didn't exist, Quidditch Through the Ages would definitely not have made this list. If I were going through the books mentioned in Harry Potter and things, the one about Quidditch would not be my first choice. Also, I kind of just want to read the entire Hogwarts library. I did my Hogwarts story tag recently where I talked about if I was living in the Wizarding World, what job would I have, and I mentioned Hogwarts professor and a writer of magical books, and I totally should have mentioned magical bookshop owner, running Flourish and Blotts or something, because that would also be amazing, unless they were selling Monsters Book of Monsters, which did not make this list, but I would also kind of want just for the fun of it. The first book that I desperately want, and if I could have one book from the Harry Potter universe, it would be Hogwarts A History. I mean, we hear Hermione talk about Hogwarts A History so much over the course of Harry Potter, and the fact that J.K. Rowling has written 3 books from the Harry Potter universe and not one of them has been Hogwarts A History is kind of strange to me almost. Of course, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them was a bit of a simpler book since there's a paragraph on each beast and stuff. I feel that's not the same time commitment writing Hogwarts A History would be. We did get Quidditch Through the Ages, which was the history of Quidditch. I feel Hogwarts A History though would be a more intensive project if anyone were to write it, because Hogwarts is very old and Quidditch I feel is a very narrow subject. You can write about these developments happened, and whereas Hogwarts is very old, has seen a lot of people come through its halls, and I feel there would be a lot there. The Hogwarts history from the books is probably super long and packed with a lot of information, and it's still not everything about Hogwarts even, because the Room of Requirement isn't in there. Obviously, if we were to get Hogwarts history, I think it would be a lot shorter, but I still feel it would be a significant project that would have to be undertaken, but I would be extremely happy if it ever became a thing. While we have gotten a fair amount of information about the founders just from the books themselves, I feel just the stuff on the founders and Hogwarts A History would make it worth reading, let alone any other information we could get about Hogwarts. The second book I really want to read from Harry Potter is History of Magic by Bathilda Bagshot. It does partially have an appeal to me just because of Bathilda Bagshot's role in the story kind of makes it more interesting, but I did talk in my Hogwarts story tag video that I think being the History of Magic professor would actually be kind of cool. While Ben's teaching may not be the most exciting, I do think the subject could be really interesting, so I would be really interested in reading the History of Magic book. I just feel the history of the magic world would have to be incredibly intriguing. I enjoy history in our world, so I feel I would really enjoy it in the Wizarding World. The third book on my list isn't a specific one, mostly because it would have to be written after Harry Potter. I would really love to read a history book from the Wizarding World that was written about the years of the Harry Potter books. So that war and what, not even super far in the future Wizarding World, but within Harry's lifetime even, the sort of books that were being written about those years. Hermione meets Harry in the first book. She does mention how he's talked about in recent history books for Wizarding World. Clearly there are going to be a huge number of history books written about that war, even in probably the first couple of years after that war, and I just feel it would be so fascinating to read those. And obviously if I was in the Harry Potter world, I wouldn't have the knowledge of the Harry Potter books. But if I got to read the books while knowing about the Harry Potter books, it would be even more interesting to like compare what's in the Harry Potter books with the textbook version of things. I feel like that would be really fascinating. I would also really love to read a book on the theory of Patronuses, and then also, and I'm probably gonna butcher this and say it wrong because I feel like I always do, but animagi. I know those are two different things and will probably be talked about in two different books, but I would love to read about like both of them. Not so much the like how does it work, especially when it comes to like Patronuses. I would love to read like kind of magical theory, I guess, about what kind, like how you get matched up almost with a type of animal that becomes your Patronus or your animagus and like stuff like that, because I feel like it would be really interesting, and I feel like there has to be some sort of like theory, if not like accepted logic for how that happens. Like, do you have a certain, like, I don't know, because we know Patronuses can change too. Like Tonks changes into a werewolf because she's in love with Remus. So like, what, like, I don't know, I just feel like it would be interesting to read about how that happens and things. The last thing on my list isn't a specific book, but I would really love to read like anything Luna ever writes. I'm not saying that I would like read it and take it as gospel. Like Luna could definitely go out and like prove all of these things are real and then write about it and like it be valid. What's the word I'm looking for? Because I don't want to use like scientific when we're talking about magic, but like that's basically what I mean. Like she could totally become like a reliable source of things she actually found, or she could write about things that she believes that there's no like proof for. Like it could go either way. Honestly, I don't want to read Luna's writing because as like source material for things, although I do feel like the things she would write about would be really interesting whether they were real or not. But just think about Luna as a Quidditch commentator in the books and how hilarious that was, and that's a lot like what I imagine reading her book to be like. Of course her writing would have to be edited a bit, but I can imagine Luna fighting back and like keeping the tangent in the book, even though it's just like some completely random tangent that seemingly has no connection to the book. Like that's what I imagine reading Luna's writing to be like. I just feel like she would have an amazing voice as a writer, and it would make reading her books very fun. Like I said though, I would like to read pretty much like every book in the Hogwarts library and in Flourish and Blotts. If I could get a hold of like any book in Harry Potter, it would probably be exciting. Maybe not the book about how to make Horcruxes. Maybe I would pass on that one, although to be completely honest, I would probably be very interested in it just in like a theoretical way. I have like no desire to make Horcruxes of my own though. Let me know what books from the Harry Potter universe you would like to read, and I will see you guys later. Bye!